People here are big Bollywood fans since there are no other sources of entertainment. It feels like we have stepped in the 1950s Italy.
Two first and then two and then two.
I gotta toss these balls two at a time, and this kid will line the bottles back up once I throw. He throws and this guy racks them. He's lining up the bottles manually just for me, since I'm about to bowl here. Imagine if all your sources of entertainment were taken away, your phone, your internet, everything. What would you even do? Here goes my first bowl. Woohoo! Nobody's even using a phone here. If you want tea or coffee, you just sip and chat with people around. There are buildings here with Italian architecture. Since everything in the country is censored, that's probably why it's called the North Korea of Africa. Life here in Eritrea is super simple. You wake up in the morning, no need to check your phone because there are no messages anyway, since there's no internet here. You grab a coffee, maybe a macchiato, head to work, then look for a pizza spot to eat pizza, pasta or spaghetti. You'll find pizza joints literally every few meters, and even after all that, if you still feel something's missing from this Italian lifestyle while being in Africa, then in the evening you grab a gelato and call it a day. That's pretty much the life people live here. Look, speaking of gelato, here's an ice cream shop right now. It feels like you are completely immersed in Italian culture, like stepping into 1950s Italy, right here in Africa with charming little gelato parlors all around. Now I think we should get one for ourselves. I think this is good. Can you please give me a biscuit and a cappuccino? Even here, gelato, which is an Italian style ice cream, is available in a wide variety of both classic and unique flavors. Thank you so much. Some of the cones here are priced at 20 Eritrean nakfa for a single scoop. And since I went for 2 scoops, it came to around 40. That's barely about $3, which is still crazy cheap. Honestly, really unbelievable. $1 equals around 15 nakfa, which is their local currency. So this gelato cone with 2 scoops comes around $3. In Italy, the same thing would probably cost 4 or even 5 euros. So for this gelato, I think it's a pretty good deal for this price. Delicious. While I was walking down the street, a taxi driver stopped his car and said in Hindi, "Hey buddy, how are you?" People here are huge fans of Bollywood. They watch tons of movies since cinema is pretty much the only source of entertainment around. And since we're talking about Bollywood, right behind me you can see Cinema Roma. This theatre is almost 90 years old, built back in 1937 when the Italians ruled Eritrea. But these days most people use it either to watch football matches or just for the coffee shop inside. That's life here in Eritrea. Drink coffee, eat gelato, and of course pizza and pasta, which I don't really like but end up eating anyway. We'll check out this coffee shop and Cinema Roma later, but for now let's move on to another spot. I'll show you where. It's a photo showing people playing volleyball. They have placed it in the middle of the street. Since everything in the country is censored, that's probably why it's called the North Korea of Africa. And I also noticed that Eritrea shares many of its traits with Italy and North Korea. And because everything is censored here, the television is also controlled by the government. First off, you won't spot too many TVs around. Second, the few channels that do air are very limited and completely state controlled. So it's not like you can watch your favorite entertainment channels. Whatever the government wants you to see, that's all you get. On top of that, there are no ATMs in the country. You have to carry cash. I brought US dollars with me and exchanged them for the local currency, Eritrean nakfa. Maybe some of this sounds like a joke to you, but trust me, it's exactly how things are here. Honestly, in today's world, if there's any country left in 2025 without a single ATM, it's probably Eritrea or Tuvalu, which is known as the world's least visited country. Eritrea is also one of them. In Tuvalu, people use Australian dollars, but here in Eritrea, you can bring in US dollars. And take my advice, bring as much as you can, because once you're here, you won't be able to withdraw any money. Sure, there's Western Union, so in case of an emergency, you might get cash. Otherwise, the only way is to exchange US dollars for the local currency, Eritrean nakfa, at a big hotel like I did. And since we were already talking about entertainment like cinema, well, TV here is also heavily controlled. You can only watch the limited stuff that the government wants to show you. Wow man, look at that bus. It's so long, connected together. These days, we have practically forgotten what it even means to be bored. In 2025, we have 5G internet, Wi-Fi everywhere, modern smartphones, endless sources of entertainment. The word bored hardly exists anymore. But in Eritrea, that is still a reality. Imagine if all forms of your entertainment were taken away. Your phone's gone, no internet at all. What would you do? You would probably get bored and head to a coffee shop. That is exactly what people here do. Or maybe you would go shopping at a mall, but unfortunately they do not really have that option. Instead, you will find plenty of restaurants, bars, spaghetti joints and pizza places all around here. That is what people here turn to, and that is the lifestyle they live. But if you feel like doing some activity, what would you do? Here, there's really only one option. Yes, today we are heading out to go for bowling. Since this country is so cut off from the modern world, even recording a video here is tough. People stare, wondering what you are doing. We will come back to the bowling part in a bit. For now, let me tell you, this country has only one political party in power. There are no elections, people do not really have rights, and everything is censored, monitored, and watched by the government. On top of that, military service is compulsory for everyone, whether you are a boy or a girl. Right after finishing high school, you have to serve, and it is indefinite. You never know how long it could be, a year, 2 years or more. Basically, until the government decides, you have to serve. Because of this, the sources of entertainment are very limited in this country. So the only option people are left with here is bowling. Yes, there is a bowling center, and it is completely manual. You go in, roll the ball, knock the bottles down, and then people manually pick them up and set them again before you get another turn. And this is not just anywhere, this is the only bowling center in the entire country, located in Asmara, the capital city. So for now, we are heading there to try bowling. The big difference here is that unfortunately people cannot plan meetups or outings with their friends through a WhatsApp group. If they want to go somewhere, they mutually decide a time and just show up. And if someone feels bored, they simply walk into a cafe and end up making friends there, because that is how everyone spends their day passing time. It honestly feels like we have stepped back about 50 years, and because of this, people here are very friendly and genuinely nice, though a little scared too. We will talk about that part later. Look around, it is all Italian everywhere, from the clothes to the nearby coffee shop where vintage songs are playing, and of course the day just does not feel complete without a macchiato, as long as we are in Eritrea enjoying the vibe. I had only been sitting here for 2 minutes when so many people came up asking how I was doing. Even while walking on the street, people stopped to ask. At first they speak to me in Arabic because they think I am Arab, but then I reply in English and the conversation switches. They simply ask how I am, if I am fine, and I love that. The best part here is that nobody is on their phones. Life feels very slow. If someone wants to eat, they eat. If they want tea or coffee, they sit down, drink, and chat with others. No one is glued to their phones the way we are back home, always busy posting stories and pictures. Here, everyone is actually living in the moment, and the atmosphere is really fun and refreshing. Here it is, our macchiato. Right in front, there is a shop selling cassettes and CDs. People all around begin talking to me, everyone is super friendly and chill. Honestly, it is fun. I barely got a moment to record this video, had to pause for just a second in between. Fantastic, this coffee is just perfect. Everyone was sipping coffee and chatting together, nobody was wasting time on pointless things, and the vibe was really nice. At the table behind me, there was a gentleman who had lived in America for many years, so his English was very fluent. I started talking to him and he asked me what I was doing, if I had come just for traveling, and why I was alone. Then I asked him why he came back from America, and he said he is in the army and it was compulsory, since military service is mandatory in this country. He told me he had lived in America for 27 years, but after that he was forced to return because of the rules, and since then he has been serving in the army. I asked his age and he said he is 63, which means he must have returned 20 or 25 years ago when the country called him back for service. He said one day he will definitely go back to America when his term is over, and his family is here in Eritrea. These are the typical buildings here. It is completely Italian architecture. They have made a salon in this, I guess. Look at this. Posters of movies are put up like this. They load the movies straight onto your phone so you can watch them, obviously only if you have a smartphone. Otherwise, you just play them on a DVD player. That is exactly how it still works here. You take a CD, put it in a DVD player and watch it, just like we used to do in India 20 years ago. Even music here still plays on old records, spinning away on classic phonographs that give off a real vintage vibe. Every few meters, you will find cafes like this, and right in front of me is Cinema Impero. We are now close to the bowling center. It should be around here somewhere. People here often seem a little cautious because of their history. Until 1941, Eritrea was under Italian rule. After Italy lost in World War II, the British took over until 1952, then handed it to Ethiopia. At first there was some autonomy, but in 1962, Ethiopia took full control and declared Eritrea part of their territory. For nearly 30 years wars went on, yet independence never really came. People just wanted the freedom to live their own lives. That is why today many still feel uneasy when they see outsiders taking photos or recording videos. They have suffered so much already that they do not want to risk more. But at the same time, the people here are incredibly friendly and very hospitable in nature. And here we are, finally at the bowling center. We have arrived at multi-sport bowling, the only one of its kind here. Let's step inside and see what it is like. We are inside now and this is their bowling area. It is completely empty, not a single person here. I will get myself registered and start playing.
Okay, name?
This is the flag of Eritrea. This is the bowling area. And this is where I have to fill my name.
Two. Okay. Okay. Two first and then two and then two.
I have to throw the balls here two at a time, and this boy will run over to set the bottles back up after I throw. He waits there, and every time I knock him down, he resets them manually. Look, he just went over and is lining them up again for me because I am about to start bowling. Once I finish my two throws, he will reset all the bottles once more. Amazing man, he has already set them perfectly and will probably signal me when it is time to throw again. Over on the other side, he is setting them too, all by hand, just so the bowling can keep going. It feels almost like stepping back in time, watching how everything here is done the old school way. When I came in, he asked me to write my name on a piece of paper so he could keep track of my points on the scoreboard. Then he tapped my arm and asked if I work out. I said, yeah, I do. The boy just finished setting up the pins over there and came back.
Now what? Now I do? Throw?
All of these balls do not weigh the same, so you cannot even choose between them. Here goes my first ball. Oh, one left. And as soon as I started throwing, he began writing down my points right there while I was playing. He is throwing the ball from there and this guy is setting it back. You know what the problem is? They have actually drilled the holes in these balls themselves and no two balls have the same weight. They may look the same, but the difference in weight is like night and day. The holes are handmade, so nothing feels even. This one here is at least somewhat balanced, but the others are just made like that. Look at this. Here comes the ball. Even the floor is not even, but still it is fun and adds to the charm. The boy once again went and manually set up all the bottles there. Now he is moving to the other side to set them up again. Honestly, it feels a bit dangerous, man. If by chance someone throws the ball wrong while he is still standing behind, it could hit him. Now look at these balls. One has a hole that is way too big, another has one that is really small, and none of them feel properly balanced. So it is like this here. Oh, it went back. That kid is standing behind setting up the pins. If it hits him, that would be bad. My turn for the day is over and here are today's scores. Honestly, I played pretty badly, but still the others scored 44, 30 and 25, while I ended up with 84. So that makes me today's winner in this bowling game. And keep in mind, these balls are so uneven, every single one of them has dents and holes. No matter how carefully you try to throw straight, the ball will wobble off on its own and drift to the side. But still, no worries, it was fun playing here. Alright, the game is done and it cost me 40 nakfa to play one round. I gave the boy 100 nakfa and told him to keep 10 for himself and give me 50 back. Over there, people have started playing pool too and plenty of folks are sitting around on the sofas. Look at this, there are lots of pool tables here and some people even play pool just with their hands, no sticks at all. So we have got ourselves some tea. This bowling center also has a cafe. Obviously at the cafe you can get all kinds of coffee and tea and even alcohol. Different varieties of vodka, whiskey and other spirits are stocked up here. People spend the whole day hanging out in this place. It is pretty crowded, with everyone either playing pool or just watching others bowl. Hardly anyone is actually bowling though, since it is quite expensive at 40 nakfa a game. And 40 nakfa is slightly above $2.50, which is way too much for the local people here. How can they afford 40 nakfa just for bowling? A cup of tea costs only 5 nakfa, so paying 40 for a single game is a lot. That is why only people who come back from abroad or the wealthier crowd here can actually afford it. And that explains why I have not seen anyone else bowling besides me since I got here. Look at this, all the bowling lanes are completely empty.
Bowling, fast food and cafe. Take a break, come and eat.
And look at that. They are playing snooker completely by hand, tossing the balls around. Crazy stuff, man. While sitting idle, I counted and saw around 9 to 10 people playing on different pool tables. Some even playing snooker just with their hands. And there were about 45 to 50 spectators. Nearly 50 people just sitting around watching them. They are passing the time, drinking tea, chatting, and spending the evening simply watching others play. Nobody has a phone in hand, recording videos, posting stories, or using the internet at all. It is really something remarkable. This area behind the bowling lanes is where all the pins are manually set up. You can see trash lying around here and a bunch of extra balls kept on the side. The kids climb in themselves to reset the bottles one by one. Balls come rolling down from there and hit straight into this section, and you can see plenty of fallen bottles scattered around. From here they climb up to reach whichever lane needs resetting. It feels raw and unpolished, but that is its beauty. More people keep coming in, with growing crowds seated on both sides, though many are not clearly visible from here. They are starting to throw the ball with their hands. Just look at that, their whole game is being played by hand. They keep tossing it again and again. One throws and then it is the other person's turn. Look there, he's about to throw it with his hand too. We are stepping out of the bowling center now. Right at the entrance there is their little coffee shop. Almost everyone had come here on bicycles. You can see all of them parked outside. You know what was really nice inside? Many elderly people were sitting there, and the moment someone older arrived, everyone would give up their seat and move aside so that the elder could sit comfortably and watch the pool or bowling. That showed how respectful people are toward one another. Everyone was meeting warmly and being friendly. Just as I mentioned before, there were no phones or distractions. I only saw respectful conversations happening around in that center. You can see a vintage car here. You might be hearing those sweet sounds in the background. The pizzerias and bars here are playing Amharic songs, Ethiopian music. Many people might even confuse them with Ethiopians, but never make that mistake. For years they were forced under Ethiopian control, so they really do not like being called Ethiopian.
Primavera. Paramveer. Primavera.
Prima means first, so maybe it is meant to say first snack bar. I am not fully sure, but the word itself is Italian. You must be wondering, if there is no internet in this country, how do people access things like email or any online work? Well, there are small internet cafes scattered around, which you saw yesterday. People come here, buy a short time voucher and use extremely slow internet. It is so slow that a single photo takes ages to open and sending a message takes forever. Platforms like WhatsApp are banned and VPNs are banned as well, so you cannot bypass the restrictions. I tried using a VPN myself, but it did not work. Everything is heavily monitored, most social media sites are restricted or blocked, and on top of that, the internet is so painfully slow that you can hardly use it at all. For most people, it is only used for the bare minimum, nothing beyond basic emails or messages. That is why cafes like these feel more like a rare lifeline than a regular convenience. Before moving ahead, let's stop at this restaurant. It is always crowded here, both in the restaurant and the bakery. They have pizza, all kinds of cookies, and a variety of pastries on display. I asked for their menu because I wanted to eat something, but all they had was coffee and juice. Just look at this, Oni Macchiato, and it will cost me just 10 nakfa, which is around 60 cents. Imagine that in one of the popular and nicer restaurants here, you get their special coffee for only 60 cents. He is selling peanuts. The guy handed them to me from his bicycle on a piece of paper with something written on it, probably reused from a school notebook. he just placed the peanuts right on top of it.
Thank you.
Here come my peanuts. I paid 5 nafka, which is about 30 cents, to the uncle outside for them. Along with that, I got pizza and of course a macchiato coffee, which you will find non-stop everywhere here. This coffee was for just 10 nakfa, around 60 cents, even in such a nice cafe. I grabbed the peanuts because I was short on protein. Even though they are mostly fats and complex carbs, at least they give a bit of protein. The peanuts are served hot and fresh. The pizza too came warm, probably microwaved this time since usually the custom here is to serve a freshly baked pizza. But I did not have enough time for that. Just a moment ago, something interesting happened while I was sitting in that cafe. I had ordered my coffee and bought some peanuts from the old man selling them on his bicycle. Suddenly, a man who seemed a bit unstable came toward me from the street. I could not tell if he wanted money or food, but before I could react, all the elderly people sitting in the cafe immediately stood up. They rushed to my table. Some picked up my coffee cup, some grabbed my peanuts. And they all started scolding that man, warning him not to bother me. They carried my things over to their table and told me to sit with them instead. They kept apologizing to me, saying, "We are sorry," almost as if it was their fault something happened, making sure I would not have a bad experience here as a tourist or a foreigner. They became so protective, wanting to ensure I faced no trouble at all. Honestly, it was touching to see. My macchiato was on the milkier and lighter side, but still tasted great. After finishing the coffee, I stepped out, and the street outside was full of parked bicycles. On the way, I came across a mosque, the Khulafa al-Rashidin Mosque. It is dark right now, so we will take a better look at it later as we go ahead. And you may have noticed something else here. Unlike most of Africa, where you usually see a very young population, in Eritrea, you mostly see older people. The exact population of the country is not even known. It is estimated to be somewhere between 3.5 million and 6 million, roughly around 4 million people, but nothing accurate since there has never been an official survey released. This country also carries the title of the fastest emptying country in the world. People, especially the younger ones, are leaving because they do not want to live under so many restrictions. Slowly and steadily, more and more of them are moving abroad. That is why the population you mostly see here today is made up of older people. Look over there, that is probably an internet cafe. They even have a Wi-Fi sign put up. Even in the bowling center we went to, most of the people there were elderly. Whether playing or just watching the games, it was mostly older folks. Out on the streets too, riding bicycles or walking around, you mostly see older people everywhere. As for these Wi-Fi centers, the rates vary a little, but generally across Asmara, you get about 1 hour of internet for 15 nafka, which is around $1. But the connection is extremely slow, barely usable, more in name than in actual function. And now while walking through Asmara, we have arrived at one of my favorite spots in the city, the gym. Let's go in because it is time for some exercise now, especially after eating all that pizza. This is how the place looks from the outside. Now let's get inside and get pumped. Alright, today's full workout is done. I have already made some friends in the gym since I came yesterday too, and it feels good to see familiar faces again. People here are really friendly and always start conversations. Today I did a full pull workout, focused on the back, and I finished with a couple of sets for arms. The gym closes at 9 and it is already 8:49 now, so it is time to head out. It was a pretty spacious gym to be honest, and good too.
Goodbye, Jim.
I'm back at the hotel in my room and you all must be wondering whose food this is. Well, it is all mine. I did not get enough protein today, so I asked them to bring me 3 big omelets. I ate those along with some ginger tea and now it is time to sleep.